The breakdown you're about to watch is brought to you by We Want Picks Premium Membership. Premium membership gets you all sorts of exclusive content, early bets, fantasy tools, and betting guides. Check it out now, WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member. Get ahead of these betting lines and get access to all of the tools now with an optimizer. We have a DraftKings optimizer available to you at the same low price of $10 a month. That's $2.50 a week. You get all of our bets early, all of our fantasy content early. You get betting tools and now a DraftKings optimizer, DraftKings ownership, and everything you need to build now up to 150 lineups with just a few clicks. WeWantPicks.com at the top. Click Become a Member. It is only $10 a month. All right, $10 a month. You have one good week. You pay for the whole year. WeWantPicks.com at the top. Click Become a Member. And as always, if you want $50, all you need to do is go to WeWantPicks.com/bets. Sign up with any one of our betting partners. Make a deposit, and I will send you $50 as a thank you. That's WeWantPicks.com/bets. Sign up, make a deposit. I'll send you $50. Next up at UFC 278, we have Sean Woodson taking on Luis Saldana. Sean Woodson 9-1. Overall, 4-1 in his last 5. Coming off a stoppage win 6 months ago. Luis Saldana 16-7 overall. 4-1 in his last 5. Coming off a decision win over Bruno Souza. Sean Woodson has great boxing and was a legit boxer before he moved over to MMA. He's very long and he knows how to play that game well. I normally go on, little mini rants about looking at, I've even seen it in the comment section of this live stream. I forget what fight it was. Oh, that 5-inch reach advantage has me really worried. Listen, 90% of these fighters have no idea how to use the reach to their advantage, right? And the reality is, Sean Woodson does. He's got solid reach and he uses it really well. And that's from that boxing background. Very few fighters can do that and he can do it. And given how good his hands are, most people are going to try to take him down. But that's not easy. He's got an 81% takedown defense. And historically, the knock on him was that he doesn't really have a ton of power. But he showcased that power in his last fight. And he actually flatlined Colin Anglin. Luis Saldana is a very versatile striker, both offensively and defensively. He likes to fight on the outside, and his ability to move out of the way, but still strike, is pretty impressive. He's got a solid striking differential of almost 5-2, which he keeps with the constant in and out range. He has issues with wrestlers, but he is making adjustments, and he has been training with Henry Cejudo. But I don't imagine he will need his defensive wrestling in this fight. And I've not been the biggest Sean Woodson fan in the past, but after his last fight, that really opened my eyes to how talented he actually is. Luis Saldana is probably the better overall mixed martial artist, but I don't think his 20% takedown accuracy is going to be enough to get this done, to get it to the ground. I think Woodson, without that threat of takedowns, it's just going to be a kickboxing match, and I think Woodson's obviously the far superior striker, so the pick is definitely Sean Woodson. But Saldana does have a clear, albeit very tough, but he does have a clear path to victory with the grappling. This is honestly kind of similar to, it's going to sound ridiculous, kind of similar to the Sean Strickland, Alex Pereira, where...
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Where one fighter was clearly the much better mixed martial artist, but the other fighter was the better striker, and they both like to strike, and we know how that ended. I think that's what happens here. Luis Saldana is the better MMA fighter, but he's going to strike, and he's going to lose to the striker. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Well, I think most of MMA, you always start on your feet, and on the feet, Sean Woodson has a severe advantage for Saldana.
Yeah, I don't even think
calling
Luis
him
is
the
going to
better.
try to wrestle is my point.
Yeah, but calling Saldana the better mixed martial artist, I think, is a little bit of a clown show, Angelo, I'll be honest with you. Luis Saldana, honestly, former lock of the week. I'm 20-10 lock of the week. He was like last second replacement. I can't remember what fight dropped, and I think that was actually was that a controversial decision, the Bruno Souza fight? I think it was. I think I got a little bit lucky there, but he was a lock of the week at one point. definitely not going to be the lock of the week in this matchup. I'll tell you that. Sean Woodson is going to be a puzzle at the 145 division because, as you mentioned, his boxing, his striking is fantastic. I love that he doesn't headhunt. A lot of his strikes almost look slow motion because his arms are just so goddamn long, and they don't look as powerful as they are. But you saw that in his last fight versus Colin Angle. You mentioned it, and he doesn't headhunt either. He was destroying Colin Angle with body shots, got him against the cage, and just ripping his body, and that was really, really hurt Colin. But as you mentioned, his takedown defense, I think his takedown defense is decent, but he's just so goddamn long at 145 that people they try to get on his hips, and all of a sudden if he gets one underhook, all of a sudden you're up on his chest, and it's like, now you can't do anything because he's so goddamn tall, and he's going to be a real problem for a lot of people that are just trying to think that they can just take him down, because unless you get really low on his legs and get him off balance, he's a problem, man. And on the feet, you mentioned just volume, just boxing will just stay on top of you with the volume. Oh my God, this is fun to watch here. Look at that.
My eyes are so dry, dude. Go ahead.
You okay, babe?
No.
Okay. That's okay. We'll get through
Continue.
this. All right. Yeah. So I think that Sean Woodson's definitely going to play. If you're Luis Saldana in this matchup, I mean, it's just got to be kicks, right? To control a boxer from moving forward. They're usually heavy on that front leg. If you Saldana, I think you just go all in the first 2 minutes, just boom, just trying to blast that front leg, and just pray to God that you just destroy that enough to where he can't move forward anymore, can't put that heavy the heavy power on his front leg with the jab and his long strikes, and just see what happens after that. But yeah, this is probably gonna be a striking matchup, and if it comes down to boxing and striking all together, I'll take Sean Woodson versus a lot of featherweights. Honestly. So I like that Sean Woodson's getting a matchup to kind of show off who he is on a main card pay-per-view, not the main card, but on a pay-per-view matchup. And I'm a big Sean Woodson guy, man. I think he gets it done.
Well, and he fears no man. So that's always good. DraftKings, $8,800 to $7,400. Listen, I like Sean Woodson. I think he wins this fight. He's coming off a beautiful stoppage win. We're going to need a stoppage win for him to be worth the $8,800. Do you think he gets it?
He's not really. I know that he got the stoppages last fight. When you watch him strike, it's just volume. I mean, he's not going to be in my lineup for $8,800. I think it's pretty dominant performance, and maybe with the strikes, occasionally you will see one of those people that comes in and scores 100 and some points with just striking. But it's pretty far in between those strikers. And no, the answer is no.
Yeah, I probably won't either. Even though I'm very confident. I think he's a much better bet than a DraftKings play. Right? I think minus 340. Is a pretty good-looking odds for a guy with his striking ability in what will be a striking match. $8,800, I think he wins, but is he going to score enough to take up a slot? So, especially with a bunch of big favorites. So anyway, I think Sean Woodson's probably a better bet than he is a fantasy play, but $8,800, it's enough to think about. Monkey Knife Eye Strike Line one. What?
No, I was just going to say, because we talked about the most takedowns landed in a lot of fights. They also added most significant strikes, which is a little bit awkward to play sometimes. But in this matchup, Sean Woodson, he's minus 400 for most significant strikes, but that still feels pretty safe.
It does. Lot of volume. The Dominic Cruz one last week was like the biggest, the freest money of all the free money.
Right.
And that exact reason, that bet cashed even though Dominic was put out. So those are great prop bets. And if you like those prop bets, again, there's not a line. A fighter doesn't need to get over a certain amount of takedowns. A fighter doesn't need to land over a certain amount of significant strikes, just more than their opponent. So anytime you get a fight like this, where somebody is a more high volume striker, the over, or the picking that fighter in the significant strike prop bet is the way to go. Or just like we talked about earlier with AJ Fletcher, Ange Loose, AJ Fletcher is going to get more takedowns. Whether he wins the fight or not, question mark. But he's going to get more takedowns. So that's worth the money. WeOnPicks.com/bets. We got 5 partners. BetOnline's the one partner that offers those props. They're great props. Find your spot. Throw a couple bucks at it. I think they max what your payout can be. But throw a couple bucks at it and slow and steady. If you're here every week betting money every single week, you don't need to be chasing. Slow and steady. Some of those minus 400 takedown lines are some of the best money you'll ever spend because you're going to get it back.
I would say me and you are kind of similar to the tortoise and the hare.
Okay. You're small like a rabbit.
You would be the tortoise, and I am the very majestic, quick, athletic.
Lost the race hare. Congratulations. WeOwnPicks.com/bets. Monkey Knife Fight Strike Line. What do you think, more or less?
More.
Probably. I don't touch men over 100. I don't. I don't like when male fighters have strike lines over 100 strikes.
I mean, old people do creep me out too. I'll tell you, those wrinkles, man, I can't do it. They smell weird.
Oh shit.